So today we're going to talk about area of rectangles and parallelograms. Okay, and that's what you're going to see in your packet here. You've talked about area of rectangles before. We talked about it in our USA test prep before. How do I find area of a rectangle?
Length times width.
Length times width. How many of you have ever heard of a parallelogram?
Me.
Everybody, right? It's fun to say parallelogram, right? What is a parallelogram? It's a shape.
It's
a shape where the sides never touch. Right? Their opposite sides never touch. So we're going to find the area of both of these. Is the area the inside or the outside of the shape?
Wait, no, inside.
Inside. The area is the inside of a two-dimensional figure. So we can put that is the inside area of a two-dimensional figure. All right, we're going to use the formula. You're used to the formula area equals length times width. We're going to change the words, and it's going to be base times height. Same thing, though. All right, so the formula is area equals base times height, where B is the length of the base, and H is the height of the rectangle. Area is measured in square units. So we pretend that there's itty bitty little squares inside each figure. So like, for example, here, you see how they've got these little itty bitty squares? Those are square units. You always have to put the squared unit at the end or you don't know what you're talking about. So for inches, that looks like inches squared, feet squared, and meters squared. You have to have a unit squared after each one. Okay? All right, if I want to find the area of anything, you're always going to write these three steps. I guarantee you, if you write these three steps and follow those steps, you're going to get it right every time. And that's what we're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're always going to write your formula. So area equals base times height. Does it matter which order the base and height go in? 6 times 4 is 24, and 4 times 6 is, you're going to get the same answer, right? That's called commutative property. So then the next step is going to be plug in the values, or what we call substitute. So we're going to substitute. So B representing base, which is usually the bottom. How many squares are down bottom? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's where I'm going to get my, instead of B, I'm going to substitute it with a 5. My height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Is that what you got?
Yeah.
So I'm going to substitute H for 7, and I'm going to get area equals 35, and we're going to put units squared. So each time we're going to write the formula, we're going to plug in the value, and we're going to write the area. So which one do you want to do? You want to do rectangle 2 or rectangle 3? 2? All right, so first thing we're going to write is our formula. Every time you're going to write area equals base times height. What's my base going to be? How many squares are there? 9 squares at the bottom, so area equals 9. And then your height is, so 9 times 6 is 54. So the area is going to be 54 units squared. This piece right here is very important. Okay? All right, so if we hop on down, we still have formula, plug-in, and area, right? So if we write the formula, area equals base times height. Plug in the values. Area equals, what's the base? 8 and 6 tenths. times our height, which is 3. And if I plug that into the calculator, what do I get? 25 and 8/10. Now we're working with centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters squared. All right, so number 5, we've got fractions here. Do we know how to multiply fractions? Do we know how to multiply fractions? Yes, we do. So if I'm going to have area equals base times height, area equals 1.5 times 2 1/4. When I multiply fractions, remind me, what do I have to do? You have to change them to an improper fraction. And if we want to change it to an improper fraction, remember we have to go, do you remember having to go around the world? So 2 times 1 is? So we got 3 halves. And then if you have 2 1/4 and we go around the world, what do you get? 9/4. So we've got 3 halves times 9/4. So if I multiply straight across, 3 times 9 is? 2 times 4 is? 27/8. Could we simplify that? What you could do is you could put this in your calculator. 12 divided by 8. What do you get? 1.27 divided by 8. 27 divided by 8. So your area is 3.375 feet squared. All right. Sometimes we're going to be given the area, and we have to find either the base or the height. So I could use inverse operations to solve for that. So if I have area and I'm looking for the height, if I'm trying to find the height and I want to get h all by itself, what do I have to do? You would have to divide by b, right? Oops, by b. So if I'm looking for height, it's going to be area over base. If I'm looking for the base, it's going to be area over height. Make sure you have that written down because that's going to be very important for you to know. All right, so when we turn the page, we have a practice problem with that. All right, if you look at number 6, the area of the rectangle is 162 meters squared. We don't know the base, but we know that the height is, what, 18 meters. So the first thing I'm going to do is write my formula. Area equals what? Base times height. I'm going to plug in the values. Do I know what A is? Is the area. Do I know what my area is? It says the area of the rectangle is 162. Do I know what the area is? Yes, so it's 162. Do I know what B is? We don't know what B is. Do I know what H is? 18 meters. So I need to solve for B. So I have 162 equals B times 18. To get B by itself, I'm going to have to isolate using inverse operations, just like we've been doing. So I'm going to divide by 18. So 162 divided by 18 is what? 9. So B is going to be 9 meters. If I want to make sure that's right, I could do 18 times 9, and does that equal 162?
Yes.
So I know I did it correctly.
Y'all see why Miss Pittman only put 9 meters instead of 9 meters squared?
Yes.
Because what is B up there? It's just meters. It gives you meters squared. You're looking for meters, okay?
All right, we're going to skip number 7 for sake of time, and we're going to come on down. Now we're going to talk about parallelograms. Guess what? You haven't done these yet, but guess what? The formula is the exact same as a rectangle. So guess what the area of the rectangle of a parallelogram is going to be? Area equals base times height. So area equals base times height. Okay? So when it comes to a parallelogram, the height is from base to base. So when I mean base to base, I mean from here to here. So from base to base is your height, how tall it is. So they give us 3 different numbers. We only need 2. Which one do you think we can get rid of? If we need base and height, which one's the base?
9.
The 9. The 9 is the base. Which one's the height?
4.
4 is the height. You do not need this slanted number right there, so mark it out.
Y'all, anytime you've got that diagonal, the dotted line, that means height.
So
Okay?
we're going to write it again. Area
Did you ever
equals
see it as
base
altitude line in 6th grade? Okay.
So we're going to plug in the values for our variables. We're going to substitute. Area equals 9 times 4. So the area is going to be 36 centimeters squared. You can't forget that squared part. All right, I'm going to show you real quick why this works. If I took this piece right here, okay, and I cut it off, and I split it over and moved it right here, guess what I now have? I now have a rectangle.
Do y'all see that?
Oh, yeah.
So I can make this parallelogram into a rectangle. So did I add any space? Did I take away any space? No, I just moved it over, right? That's why we have the same area. Okay? Yes, sir.
I've seen that car on the accelerator videos.
Yep, exactly. All right, so if we look at this one right here, they only give us 2 points, right? They only give us 2. So the area equals base times height. So if I plug it in, I've got area equals 2 times what? 1 and 1/3. And I can multiply those together to get my answer, right? And then it would be feet squared. Okay? Tonight, what I need you to do are these 6 problems. This is your homework tonight. I'm going to be looking at them tomorrow. Okay? That's your homework tonight. Quarantine people, do your homework tonight too.
Bye, y'all.